Hi everyone, I'm Kristen and this is the Queen City Yarn Dyeing to Knit podcast. This is episode 35 and this is a podcast about knitting, yarn dyeing, weaving, spinning, crochet, pretty much just my adventures in making things. Thank you so much for joining me today. It has been a very long time since I last recorded. Back in 2020, New Year's Eve was my last recording. A lot of things have changed since that time, so I'm so excited to share that stuff with you today. First, let's chat about where you can find me online. You can find me on Instagram as Kristen C. You can find me on Ravelry as Kristen. My designs are Kristen Clement Designs. You can find all of the gorgeous Queen City Yarn over at queencityyarn.com. You can follow Queen City Yarn on Instagram at Queen City Yarn. And my designs are also available to purchase over at queencityyarn.com. So many things have changed since the last time we chatted. I am using some new equipment. I got a new lens for my camera and a new microphone. And so hopefully all that is working out well. I am not super tech savvy, so we'll see how it works, but I'm really excited about using this new lens and bringing a higher quality video to you. I'm coming to you from a brand new location. Earlier this summer, my family and I relocated back up to Pennsylvania, and that has meant a lot of changes, both good and not awesome. One of the changes that has happened is that I'm no longer dyeing yarn for Queen City Yarn. I'm still involved in a much smaller role, but I'm excited to still be a part of Queen City Yarn that Janice and I have built together over these past 6 years. And we're excited about new things to come with the company. Like I said, I'm no longer dyeing, so I am actually focusing more on my design work. And so you should be seeing many more Kristen Clement designs coming to fruition. I'm excited to get all of the work that I've had kind of rolling around in my head out into the world and made up in some yarn. So that is happening. And yeah, it's been quite a year so far. The kids are back in school this year in person. They are very, very excited to be learning from a real teacher and not from me, and to be making friends, which we thought was extra important after our move. So yeah, we are happy to be back in Pennsylvania because we're close to both of our families, my husband and my family. So the kids are getting to spend some time with their cousins. We're getting to spend much more time with our family, and that has been a blessing since our move. So yeah, I have some finished things to show you. Now getting into the podcast part of it. I have some finished things to show you. I did not bring everything that I have finished since I last recorded because we would be here all day long. But I did bring a few things to show. I have quite a few works in progress. I have some yarn that I'm going to show off and then wind up and cast on some projects. And yeah, I'm going to share at the end, I'm going to share some information about where you can find Queen City Yarn in the upcoming weeks. Janice will be doing quite a few in-person events, in-person shows, and so maybe you can catch her at one of those. So let's jump right in. The first finished object I'd like to show you is my Recalibrate top. This is a tee that I made as part of a test knit for my friend Shayna of Shayna Lines Designs. This is Recalibrate, and it is a modular knit t-shirt, and it is all in garter stitch except for the edgings are done with an I-cord, and I loved making this and I love wearing this so much. Shayna is one of my friends, and when she was first designing Recalibrate, I was like, I cannot wait to make that. You have to let me test it. And of course she did. So I really, really enjoyed making this top. I used 2 colors of Queen City yarn in our Shorty Sock base. The darker, which is this center panel here, is stand. And then the lighter green stripes, and then the sleeve edgings and neck edging, and also the bottom edging is pollen season. so I knew when I first dyed pollen season that I really wanted to use it with stand. I just think it's such a beautiful combination of colors, and so I'm really, really excited about this tee. The pattern is available on Ravelry and also on Shayna's website via PayHip, I believe is what she's using there. And so this is really fun. Definitely something that you can purchase special yarn for or even dive into your stash for. I chose to use 2 colors. The design actually uses 3 in the photos for the design. And then there were tons of makers who have made it using mini skeins for each of the stripes and the center panel and the arm edging. And then there's this fun panel here under the side. So it is a lot of fun to knit. And yeah, so I highly recommend Recalibrate by Shayna. And then I also recently knit a t-shirt for myself. This is, I used a Noro yarn. So this is the tee. I might cover the microphone. I have to get used to the lapel microphone. So this is the tee. Let me show you and tell you a little bit about it. The pattern is in the Noro. I believe this is Noro Knitting Magazine, issue 18. And I saw this top first posted by Ellen, who runs the Crazy For You yarn shop, which is my mom's local yarn shop. And she posted it in her newsletter, and I fell in love with it. So I'm going to show an up-close picture of the top. Hopefully that focuses there. And the top is called Unwind, number 11, Unwind. And the yarn that I used is this Noro Khaki Gory. So hold on just a second. So it is a Noro yarn. And the base is, let's see if it'll focus. No, Khaki Gory. Like I said, I'm still trying to learn the camera. Hopefully that focused. So it's Khaki Gory by Noro, and it's a really fun yarn. And it has a single ply, and then it has all of these little specks of blips of like neon bright colors. So the base is a navy, and then it's got all these fun specks in it. So it knit up really, really cool into this tee pattern. It's got a little bit of a lace motif down at the bottom, and then again up here at the top. And it's just a drop shoulder, kind of oversized boxy tee. And it looks really cute with shorts and also jeans. So that is a finish. My mom and I actually both made it in the same color, and we bought 3 skeins of the yarn and split it. But we ended up each only using about a skein and a quarter for the top. And the pattern is intended to be knit flat and then seamed. I chose to knit mine in the round, and so I just kind of charted out the lace chart for an in the round design and did that, and it worked out great, and I enjoyed knitting it in the round very much. Okay, so I think those are the only finished things that I brought over. Well, no. Okay, I have just a couple more finished objects to show off. One is my off-the-cuff hat. I left the original of my off-the-cuff hat design with Janice because we used it as a sample quite frequently, and also it was one of her favorite hats to wear. She wore it all the time, and so I knit myself another one. I used Queen City Yarn Biddleville DK in the eggplant colorway just as I had for the original design because I just love this color so much. It's beautiful. And then I used a fluffy pom-pom on top. So this is a Kristen Clement design. This is off the cuff using Queen City Yarn Biddleville DK in the eggplant colorway. Okay. And then I have a new pattern to share with you. Recently, I released in August my sporty Shorty Sock pattern. And this is a Shorty Sock knit in fingering weight yarn. And this is actually the pair that the pattern photos were used. This is Queen City Yarn Noda sock in the Huddle is Real colorway. So this pattern incorporates quite a few things that I think make it a great sporty sock pattern, shorty sock pattern. The first thing is a raised back cuff. This was something that I had been working on and trying to figure out for a while now. And one day while I was at the car dealership waiting for them to work on my car, I finally figured it out. So I raised up this back of the cuff just enough to avoid that slip into the back of my sneakers. And then I used a heel flap, and I used the double gusset heel, so you can kind of see those decreased lines here underfoot rather than up here where many socks have them as a regular gusset. The gusset is decreased here underfoot, and that is a design feature that my friend Christy of Turtle Girl 76, she has quite a few designs on Ravelry. She figured out this heel decrease, and I really love it, and I use it in most all of my socks. Another feature of the Sporty Shorty sock design is some underfoot ribbing. This is like an athletic rib under the foot, and it just squeezes in the bottom of the sock just enough to make it feel like your favorite pair of athletic socks. So this is one pair. I've made quite a few pair of these Sporty Shorty socks. Another pair that I made here is using lollipop yarn in her traditional base, and I believe the colorway was called Extrovert. I actually ordered this yarn, this colorway from Joan of Lollipop Yarn because I wanted to knit my friend Shayna a pair of Sporty Shorty socks, and I did. And I sent those with Janice to ZK for her to deliver to Shayna. And so she has a pair, and then I made a pair for my daughter, and I made a pair for me, and this was all I made. So I made 3 pairs of Sporty Shorty socks using the same 100 gram of self-striping yarn and then 2 coordinating minis. This purple here is actually Queen City Yarn Noda sock in our grape colorway, and then the red here is the mini of the traditional base from Lollipop Yarn that came with the self-striping. So I made 3 pairs of these Sporty Shorty socks in this Extrovert colorway from Lollipop Yarn, and I absolutely love them. You can see off the blocker really how well this, those increases, or short rows rather, raise the back of that cuff up. And that has solved the problem for me where I love shorty socks and I want them to be, kind of like no show when I'm wearing my sneakers, but the back of them often drops down into my heel and then get kind of gobbled up and end up underfoot. So this shaping feature here makes that not happen. And then, yeah, so these are them. I knit all of my Sporty Shorty socks on a ChowGoo 32-inch US 1 2.25 millimeter needle. Okay, I have just a couple more finished objects to show you in anticipation of an upcoming design. So I have just designed the Cozy Crisp cabled mitts, and this is a pattern using Queen City Yarn Noda DK, and this is the size small, and this pair is the size medium. So this design will be coming out next week, and it is a really fun cabled mitt design. It has a longer cuff to kind of cover up in between your coat or whatever. It has some beautiful cables on the front, and it features a rib in the palm along with a gusseted thumb. So these mitts were knit using, like I said, Queen City Yarn Biddleville DK. This is the size small, this is the size medium, and I haven't woven the ends in yet. This pair was knit in our Rust colorway, and this is a one-of-a-kind colorway. I used some leftovers that I had from my Rituals sweater that I made last November and knit up this pair of dark gray ones. I think these are going to be a gift for my mother-in-law this year for the holidays. And this pair, my kids both have tried to claim this pair, so I'm not quite sure who will be getting this size. This is the adult size small. This is the medium. There's also a child size and an adult large size, but because this pattern features a rib across the palm of the hand, the sizing is really forgiving and can fit many, many people. They look really narrow and small when they are not on, but when you put them on, they really stretch nicely to fit many sizes. So this is the small. Usually I would make a size medium mitt for myself, but the size small fits really well. And this is, I just had it on, but this is this one in the medium. I do really like the cuff. I think this is a great pattern, great design for fall mitts because they're fingerless and you can still use your phone and snap all those fall pictures of the leaves and the pumpkins and all the things without having to worry about the top of a mitten or very cold fingers. So this is another of my recent finishes. This pattern is currently in testing and will be releasing next week. So this is the Cozy Crisp Cabled Mitts, and this is one of my Kristen Clement designs. There, I think that is all of the finished objects that I brought over to show with you. I have quite a few works in progress on the needles. I'm going to share quite a few pairs of socks with you. It looks like 3 pairs of socks I brought over. I have 2 tops on the needles and then something else. I have something fun, a mystery knit along that I'm working on, and I'm going to show that off as well. So let's start with the socks. Since I've just shown you my recalibrate top, I'm going to show you the socks that I'm knitting using my leftovers. So I had 2 full skeins of Stand, which is this darker color, and then I had 1 skein of Pollen Season. And so I had quite a big ball of Stand left over, and then a much smaller ball of Pollen Season left over. There we go, I think that's focusing. And so what I decided to do was to make myself a matching pair of socks. These are going to be kind of an afterthought, everything sock. I'm knitting a long sock tube. I cast on using a tubular cast on with Pollen Season here at the very top, and did just a couple rows of ribbing, and then I switched over to Stand for the rest of the ribbing, and now I'm just working a sock tube. I'm going to knit it all the way to the other end and do the ribbing, and then do some more Pollen Season and the bind off there. I think I'll also use Pollen Season to cut in the heels and probably for a stripe before the toe. I want to see how far it goes. I really love this combination though. It's just really, really beautiful. So I have that pair of socks on the needles. These are going to be for me, I believe, because I really want them. Even though I definitely should be doing more gift knitting. I should be much farther in my gift knitting this year than I am now, but I really want those socks for me. So they're going to be for me. Actually, I think only one of the 3 pairs of socks that I'm working on are not for me. This is another pair that is for me. These are in my Kitchen Counter Crafter Eagles bag. And when the regular season started, I grabbed my leftovers of Fly Eagles Fly, colorway by Lolo Did It. I've knit my husband a pair of Shorty Socks in these in this colorway before, and I have plenty left over to knit myself a pair. So I am using my sporty Shorty Sock pattern, and I have just done the cuff. So this is the back of the cuff that I'm showing you here, and you can see how the short rows have raised it up just a bit, and then from the front you can see how it's kind of raised up. Let's see if that's focusing. Like I said, new equipment, so we'll see how great the focus is. I'm sure I'll get better as I use it more and more. So I have those cast on. I obviously haven't worked on them very much. I've only knit on them just a little bit during the Eagles games, and they live downstairs in the living room waiting for the next Eagles game that we watch. And so I have one more pair of not shorty socks, another pair of socks on the needles. These socks are a gift knit, and I am knitting them up for my brother-in-law, Kevin. The yarn, I'll show you this one here. Oh, I'm all tangled. So the yarn is a self-striping yarn, and it is by Fab Funky Fibers in the colorway, the big one, Gradient. And it is a beautiful rainbow gradient. So this was in two 50-gram skeins, and they match. However, I am knitting them to be opposites of each other. So I'll show you the first one first. I have a little bit of yarn left. I haven't finished this, but I've knit a long tube, did a tubular cast on, and I've knitted all the way down here. I'm going to cut in the heel, and then I'll probably do the toe maybe still in this, or I may use black, but I think I'm going to use black for the heel. And these are going to be a Christmas gift for my brother-in-law, Kevin. When we first moved into our new house and we had our family over for like a barbecue, we were showing everybody around the house and doing the little tour thing. And when we came into my office, I have a jar of self-striping yarn, and this Fab Funky Fibers was sitting on top. And my brother-in-law was like, oh, I love that. So I cast on a pair for him for Christmas. So this is how that, like, such a pretty bullseye of the ball looks. So I'm definitely not as far on this one, but these have been, and going the opposite direction with the stripes here. So these have been my soccer practice, orthodontist appointment, any kind of waiting in the car kind of knitting, and or at sports kind of knitting, and I'm really enjoying them. So we have soccer practice again tonight, so they will get some more love this afternoon. And those are the socks that I have on the needles. I have another small thing that I'd like to share, and then I have two garments. So the next thing is in this Gnome bag, and actually I just got this bag. Let me see if there's a tag to say who it's from or who makes it. Yes, Good Stuff Crafts is the maker of this bag, and I just got this. She is one of the sponsors for the Boston Jen Pigskin Party knit along. I'm also a sponsor with my designs, and so I wanted to support another maker that's involved in that knit along. And so I picked up this super cute gnome bag that I am using for my mystery knit along. It's called All Work Gnome Play, and it's by Sarah Shira, and she's also known as Imagine Landscape. So I'll show you the three colors that I'm using. I'm using Queen City yarn. I'm using leftovers of the Huddle is Real, which is the colorway I used for my sporty shorty sock design. I'm using Rose Gold and a barely dyed mini skein that we were kind of playing with, almost a tea stain kind of colorway. So it's almost birthday suit, but just with a little bit of sandiness to it. So those are the three colors of Queen City Yarn Notice Sock that I'm using for this mystery knit along. And so far we have knit a little hat, and it has an I-cord that wraps all the way around it, which was not so fun to sew down, but resulted in such a cute little design. And then there's some little bits there that are sewn on, little balls, bubbly things. So yes, so that's how far I am. We just got another clue today, clue 6. So I've done all of the first 5 clues, and I am really excited to work on clue 6 sometime today. So I also have 2 garments on the needles. I'll show you the one that is most close to being finished first. This is Super Simple Summer Sweater by Joji Locatelli. And I am on the hem, the front hem. I still have to do the back hem and the sleeves. So I'm really, really loving this knit. I'm using Rowan cotton cashmere for this project. I got for my birthday from my mom. So I'm using just like a natural undyed color of Rowan cotton cashmere. And then this one, they're just color numbers. This is a really pretty corally pink that I'm using for stripes. So I am just absolutely loving it. I'm super excited to get this finished. I think I'm going to wear it a lot as we kind of transition into fall or into the cooler temperatures of fall. So I'm on the front band here. You split and work the band as a split hem. So I have about another inch of the ribbing to do on this side, and then I'll need to pick up and do some stockinette and then the ribbing on the back, and then I'll just have the sleeves left. So this one is coming along really nicely, and yeah, I'm very excited. I'm very excited about that project. And then I have one more garment on the needles, but like just on the needles. So I have started Felix by Savory Knitting. I've knit this sweater before using Echo View Fiber Mill yarn that had like tweety bits of leftover silk and all kinds of different little blips, and I think it was silk ties that it was cut up and put in it. It's absolutely beautiful, and I knew I wanted to make another one. So when Ellen of Crazy For You posted that she was going to be carrying Kelborn Woolen's Lucky Tweed, I looked at the colors and completely fell in love with Viridian. And this is Viridian. This color is so beautiful. This yarn is incredible to work with. It has all of these like fun little blips of color in it, and I am really loving it. So, and my mom and I are actually knitting this as like a make along together as well, and she also chose the same color. So I literally just have the collar cast on, getting ready to start the raglan increases and do some of the short row shaping. So I'm really excited about this one as well. I wanted to get it cast on because I was very excited and couldn't resist casting on with my mom. But I am planning, my intention is to finish my super simple summer sweater before I really dive into this one full on. So I think that is all of the knitting that I have to share with you today. I have a couple of skeins of yarn that I received in the mail from Janice. She posts colorways or sends me pictures of things that she's dyed, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna need one of those. I'm gonna need one of those. So I got a couple of things that I'm going to be winding up and casting on very, very soon. So the first is a Noda DK sock set, and this is in the Witch's Brew and Just Peachy set. So the main color is Witch's Brew, and that is a 100-gram skein of Noda DK, which is a 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon blend. And then the mini is Just Peachy, and that is just 20 grams. And so with this sock set, I'm going to knit my Swift Gift socks. Although I don't think they'll be for a gift, I think they will be for me, because I am a selfish knitter these days, but that's okay. And then the next thing is, I don't have the tag because I was literally like, you just have to send that to me right now. I got a hat kit using in Queen City Yarn Biddleville DK. This is the Home Team Gray colorway. And then this is one of the black and white pom-poms that Queen City Yarn is carrying now. And so not only am I a sponsor for the Pigskin Party Knit Along, Make Along, Janice and Queen City Yarn are sponsors as well. And so I am going to knit a hat using this set. I believe I'm going to knit one of my designs. I have not quite decided yet, but I will be winding this up into a cake this afternoon and most likely casting on. So that is the upcoming cast-ons that I'm mostly decided on. I'm going to add some more footage at the end that shows a weaving that I have been working on. So aside from knitting, I have been doing quite a bit of other crafty, fun things. One of those things is weaving on my frame loom. My husband made me this loom a few years ago, and I made a project on it for my brother and sister-in-law for Christmas a couple of years ago, and then I started the project that is currently on it now, and it has just been a long time in the making, and I'm really excited because it's getting very close to finished, and it's going to hang in our living room when it's done. So I'm also doing some spinning. I have been trying to do some spinning more frequently. It's been a while since I've really used my spinning wheel very much, but I have my own little office here where my spinning wheel lives, and I have all my fiber, and so I have been enjoying spinning again and trying to spend a few minutes each day and just, keep practicing, because every time I do, it gets better and I'm more pleased with my results. Now let's chat a little bit about Queen City Yarn Happening. So if you're not interested, thanks so much for coming and checking me out and sitting and knitting with me a bit. And if you are, let me tell you about the shows that are happening soon. So the next show on the docket is a pop-up at Do You Knit in Westfield, New Jersey. I know Janice is super excited to go back and see Karen and all the girls there at Do You Knit. We had such a fun time. The last time we did a show there, we actually traveled together for that event, and we had a blast. It will just be Janice this time, but she is going to bring all the yarn to Do You Knit. And so that is happening October 8th through the 10th, and that will be in person. So if you are local and can get to Do You Knit, sometime the 8th through the 10th, you can actually meet Janice in person and see all the beautiful yarn and choose your next Queen City Yarn project. The next event after Do You Knit is going to be Indie Untangled, and that takes place on October the 15th up in Saugerties, New York. And we are really, really excited to be a part of this event. Rhinebeck is something that both Janice and I have attended and really love. And the Indie Untangled event is a smaller vendors market than Rhinebeck, but it is just perfect for where we are in our business with Queen City. And so we're super excited to be a part of Indie Untangled this year. Now, there is going to be the in-person event on October the 15th, but you can actually purchase a ticket to Indie Untangled and have access to the virtual event as well. And Queen City Yarn will also be taking part in that virtual online event as well. So if you can't make it to the event in person, you can always check it out online. And then after that, October 22nd and the 23rd will be in Black Mountain at the Indie Extravaganza at Black Mountain Yarn Shop. This is an event that we have been a part of for a couple of years, and we always love anytime we can get together with Donna and Don of Black Mountain Yarn Shop, and we're super excited to be in person again this year at the Indie Extravaganza. And so that is happening the 22nd and 23rd of October. Currently, that is what is on the calendar for upcoming events, and I really hope that you're able to make it to one or more of them. So, yeah, hopefully the video quality was really great with this new lens, and the sound quality was good with this microphone that took me like forever to figure out how to make work. And I really hope that you enjoyed sitting down and chatting about knitting with me. So I guess that's it for today. Until next time, happy knitting. Bye.